What makes Sri Lanka the most underrated paradise in Asia? Is it the tea-covered hills that stretch into the clouds, the sacred temples glowing with the light of centuries-old rituals, or perhaps the wildlife, leopards, blue whales, and elephants, roaming freely across untouched lands? Welcome to Sri Lanka, the island shaped like a teardrop, but filled with joy, color, and unforgettable stories. From misty mountains to ancient cities, from bustling markets to quiet moments of reflection under sacred trees. This is not just a destination, it's an experience for the soul. In today's journey, we'll explore some of the most breathtaking places in Sri Lanka. And by the end, you might find yourself planning a trip to this hidden gem of the Indian Ocean. 1. Ella, where mountains whisper stories. Deep in the heart of Sri Lanka's central highlands lies Ella, a small mountain town that feels like a secret whispered by nature. You don't just visit Ella, you feel it. The crisp air, the smell of tea leaves, the distant echo of a train winding through green hills. Your first stop? Little Adams Peak. The name might sound modest, but the views from the top are anything but. As you hike along gentle trails bordered by tea plantations, the landscape opens up in layers, mist-draped valleys, soft rolling hills, and a silence that invites you to breathe deeper. Then there's the Nine-Arch Bridge, a marvel of early 20th century engineering, built entirely without steel. Picture this, a vintage train slowly chugging across 9 massive stone arches, as dense jungle surrounds it like a scene from an epic film. It's no wonder photographers and travelers call it one of the most Instagram-worthy spots in the country. And of course, tea. Ella is dotted with old tea factories, some over 100 years in operation. Take a tour, sip fresh brewed Ceylon tea, and watch how a simple leaf becomes one of the world's most beloved drinks. In Ella, everything moves slower, but somehow you leave feeling more alive. Number 2. Sigiriya, the lion fortress in the sky. If Ella whispers, then Sigiriya roars. Also known as the Lion Rock, Sigiriya is a towering 660-foot-high stone fortress that seems to rise out of the earth itself. From afar, it looks almost unreal. Up close, it feels like standing at the foot of a giant. Built in the 5th century by King Kassapa, Sigiriya was once a royal palace, complete with gardens, pools, and fountains, some of which still work today. The climb to the top is not for the faint of heart. 1,200 steps carved into stone, spiraling up narrow paths and open ledges. But every step reveals something magical. Halfway up, you'll find the frescoes of the Heavenly Ladies, graceful, mysterious female figures painted directly into the rock. Their expressions are timeless, their beauty immortal. No one knows exactly who they were, but they remain one of Sri Lanka's most iconic artworks. Then comes the mirror wall, a polished rock face once so smooth, the king could see his reflection in it. Ancient graffiti from over 1,000 years ago still survives here, proving that travelers, even back then, were compelled to leave their mark. Finally, at the summit, you're rewarded with panoramic views of dense forests and endless plains. You stand where kings once stood, and suddenly the past doesn't feel so distant anymore. Number 3. Kandy, the sacred heart of Sri Lanka. If Sigiriya is raw power, then Kandy is sacred peace. Nestled among misty hills, Kandy is considered the spiritual heart of Sri Lanka. And at the center of it all lies the Temple of the Tooth, home to what many believe is the most sacred relic in Buddhism, a tooth of the Buddha himself. Whether you're religious or not, walking into the temple during the Thevava ceremony is a moment you won't forget. Drums echo, incense swirls in the air, pilgrims bow their heads. There's a stillness here that humbles even the loudest mind. Beyond the temple, Kandy Lake invites quiet reflection. You can stroll along its edges, passing shrines and watching the reflection of the sky dance on the water's surface. And if you love nature, don't miss the Royal Botanical Gardens of Peradeniya. This vast 147-acre garden is home to towering palm avenues, delicate orchids, and even a 2-century-old banyan tree that spreads like a green fortress. If your timing is right, you may witness the Grand Asala Perahera Festival, a celebration unlike anything else. Dozens of elephants robed in glowing lights parade through the streets alongside fire dancers, drummers, and traditional Kandyan performers. It's more than a show. It's a living, breathing celebration of Sri Lankan culture. 4. Nuwara Eliya, the Little England in the Hills. Just a short drive from Kandy is Nuwara Eliya, a town that feels like it was plucked from an English countryside and placed gently into Sri Lanka's misty mountains. That's why locals call it Little England. Colonial-era bungalows, neatly trimmed gardens, foggy mornings and cool evenings. Nuwara Eliya was once a favorite escape for British colonists seeking relief from the tropical heat. Today, it's a peaceful haven for travelers in search of quiet beauty. At the heart of town is Lake Gregory, an artificial lake built in the 19th century. You can paddle across its calm waters, walk along flower-lined paths, or simply sit and watch the clouds drift across distant peaks. Adventure awaits at Horton Plains National Park, home to the legendary World's End, a sheer cliff that drops 2,000 feet into the forest below. Go early in the morning before the fog rolls in, and you'll be rewarded with one of the most dramatic views in the country. And of course, you can't leave Nuwara Eliya without sampling the tea. This region is the beating heart of Ceylon tea. Visit one of the local plantations, some over 100 years old, and watch as women expertly pluck tea leaves, the way it's been done for generations. End your day with a cup of freshly brewed black tea as the cool wind rustles the leaves outside. 5. Yala, where the wild still rules. In the southeastern corner of Sri Lanka lies Yala National Park, a land where nature writes its own script. This is not a zoo. This is the real wild, raw, and untouched. Yala is home to the highest concentration of leopards in the world. Yes, you read that right. Nowhere else offers a better chance of seeing these elusive, graceful cats in their natural habitat. As you bounce along dusty trails in a 4x4 Jeep, eyes scan the trees and brush for a glimpse of spots. And suddenly there it is, a leopard stretched out on a branch, watching you with unblinking golden eyes. But leopards are just the beginning. Here you'll find Asian elephants calmly drinking from watering holes, sloth bears lumbering through the undergrowth, and more than 200 species of birds, including vivid peacocks and mighty eagles. It's a paradise for wildlife photographers and soul-searching travelers alike. And then there are the hidden beaches, stunning untouched strips of golden sand where sea turtles come to nest, waves crash against rocks, and silence reigns. Yala reminds us that we are guests in nature's kingdom, and it welcomes us with awe. Coral sharks. Mirissa, where the ocean breathes magic. Further down the coast, the rhythm changes. The wind softens, the salt air thickens. You've reached Mirissa, a coastal gem that feels like a whisper from the ocean. Between December and April, these waters become the playground of the blue whale, the largest animal to have ever lived on Earth. A boat ride into the deep blue offers not just a chance to witness these gentle giants, but also dancing pods of dolphins, leaping out of waves like living poetry. Back on land, Mirissa Beach curves like a crescent moon, its waters warm and calm, perfect for swimming or simply floating as the sun warms your face. It's not a place to rush through. It's a place to exhale. Look closely and you might spot local stilt fishermen, men perched on wooden poles stuck in the sea, a tradition passed down through generations. With balance and patience, they fish in silence, offering a glimpse into a sustainable way of life that defies time. Mirissa is more than a postcard beach. It's a meditation. 7. Tangal, serenity, sea turtles, and sacred hills. Keep heading east and you'll discover Tangal, where golden sands stretch endlessly and peace feels like the main attraction. This quiet town is a haven for travelers seeking solitude without giving up beauty. You'll find Rekawa Beach, one of the most important sea turtle nesting sites in Sri Lanka. Under the moonlight, you can witness the unforgettable sight of green turtles emerging from the waves to lay their eggs in the sand, just as they've done for centuries. It's humbling, sacred, and purely magical. And if you're craving cultural depth, Visit Mulkirigala Rajamaha Viharaya, an ancient rock temple perched on a hill just inland. Climb its steps and you'll find Buddha statues, vibrant murals, and a view of green plains stretching as far as the eye can see. Tangale isn't loud. It doesn't try to impress, and that's what makes it unforgettable. 8. Dambulla, the golden heart of the mountain. In the central plains of the island stands a monument not carved on the mountain, but within it, Dambulla Cave Temple, known also as the Golden Temple. This 2,000-year-old sanctuary is unlike any other. As you step inside the caves, you're enveloped by a sacred silence. The flicker of candlelight dances off ancient frescoes. Over 150 Buddha statues, carved and painted, line the chambers, from small serene faces to a 46-foot-long, reclining Buddha, sculpted directly from the rock. Every surface tells a story, stories of kings, monks, and seekers of peace. The air smells of incense. The energy is still. And from atop the hill, you can see the vast plains and villages below, a landscape unchanged by time. Dambulla is not just a place, it's a feeling, one that lingers long after you leave. 9. Anuradhapura, the eternal city of light. To walk through Anuradhapura is to walk through Sri Lanka's soul. This ancient city, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, was once the heart of a powerful kingdom. Today it remains a living symbol of devotion. Pilgrims in white circle massive dagobas, their prayers merging with birdsong and the rustle of banyan leaves. The Sri Maha Bodhi, a sacred fig tree over 2,300 years old, still stands here. Planted from a cutting of the original Bodhi tree under which the Buddha attained enlightenment, it is perhaps the most revered tree on earth. Pilgrims don't just visit, they weep, they sing, they give thanks. Nearby, massive structures like Jetavanaramaya and Ruwanwelisaya rise skyward, testaments to the architectural and spiritual genius of ancient Sri Lanka. And the reservoirs, some built over 2,000 years ago, still irrigate local fields. This wasn't just a city, it was a civilization built on harmony between man, nature, and spirit. Anuradhapura is not for rushing, it is for remembering. E10. Arugam Bay, where surf meets stillness. On the island's east coast lies Arugam Bay, a world-renowned surfing destination where wild waves meet untamed beauty. From May to September, surfers from around the globe gather to ride its legendary waves at spots like Main Point and Peanut Farm. But even if you've never touched a surfboard, Arugam Bay has plenty to offer. Explore calm lagoons by kayak, spot crocodiles sunbathing on the shores, or hike to Elephant Rock and watch wild elephants emerge at dusk. As the sun sets, the beaches glow with golden light, and small seafood shacks offer grilled lobster, spicy prawns, and fresh papaya juice. Arugam Bay is wild. Arugam Bay is free, and in its simplicity lies its beauty. Final thoughts, the island that changes you. So now you've seen it all, from mountains that touch the clouds to oceans that hide whales beneath, from temples older than most cities to sunsets that silence your soul. Sri Lanka is not just a destination. It's a living, breathing experience. It's where your journey outward becomes a journey inward. In just one trip, you can hike through tea-covered hills, sit with monks under sacred trees, watch leopards hunt and turtles hatch, sip tea in colonial mansions, dance in street festivals with drummers and elephants all on one island. So now the only question is, which destination will you visit first? Let us know in the comments. And if this video stirred something inside you, like subscribe and hit the bell icon, because we've only just begun exploring this world together. Until next time, keep your heart open, your passport ready, and your curiosity alive.